Good afternoon. This is Reading for Charity. This is like take 3 of starting this. Apologies for being away for a while. There was a few big issues to deal with. Hasn't really derailed the reading too much. My main streaming PC, recording PC that's got my OBS setup and everything else on it died. That needs to be rebuilt. Brand new power supply, the works. So that knocked me off track for a while. Plus a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm not going to describe. But there is a lot of reading to get through. There's a lot of reviews to get through. So I've got this pile to review, and I've got a slightly smaller pile in front of me to review. So there's definitely a lot to talk about. So I'm not going to spend too long on each of these reviews. I'm going to get them done. I'm going to get through them, and we're going to keep going. This is the kind of the final stretch now. We're really starting to get through them. I think I've only got about 15 books, I think, left to read, roughly. I think I'm about 85. I think I'm about 85 books through. So let's get them all finished, and I can get my life back. So today is the Winter Queen, or I should say just now, the Winter Queen by Boris Akuin. Boris Akuin, I think is how you pronounce his name. His autograph. Don't know if we can see this. Is it just going to white out? It's just going to white out, isn't it? His autograph is just, and it's a pen name anyway. So I don't think I really don't know if the signature is the real author's signature or whether it is supposed to be Boris Akuin's signature. What's his? The pseudonym is Gregory. I'm not even going to attempt that. Kishrashnivili? That's definitely wrong. Definitely wrong. And to anyone who I've just insulted with that, I do apologise because I cannot pronounce that surname. Anyway, The Winter Queen. The Winter Queen. This re-established some of my faith in the reading, because I had read just a series of dreary, awful, depressing books. And this sounds like it's been quite a common occurrence, and it pretty much has. Some of the books I've been reading have been downers, to be sure. This was completely opposite. I absolutely loved the book. I devoured it in short order. It's the story of a young police officer in pre-revolutionary Russia, who basically gets swept along by events. And events being, international intrigue, sleeper agents put among the local populace and international populace, and things that happen. It was excellent. When I read the back of the book, it sounded fantastic. It starts off with a suicide of an intriguing nature, and then it builds from there. So Van Doren gets lifted into the conspiracy via the suicide that he alone wants to investigate, and things move from there. Van Doren is described as being brilliant, sophisticated, a true detective, this absolutely magnificent creature. But in The Winter Queen, he's anything but. He's exactly the opposite. He's naive, he's unsophisticated, he is how can I put this? Doesn't take time to think things through, so he makes things obvious for his much more Sherlock Holmes-like older counterpart when they first meet. And at no point in the story is he actually in control of events. Far from it. He kind of stumbles from one bit of the story to the next while things happen around him. It could have been any soul, really, put into that put into the story, and events would have turned out roughly the same way as they turned out. Van Doren isn't as special as the story, as the blurb and the way people describe him make him out to be. He's clearly not. That doesn't mean the book is bad in any way, shape, or form. The book is excellent. I like Van Doren in this book. It's obviously young. The way he's written, he could be 24, he could be 7. It's hard to tell because he is so naive and childlike, and is basically, he's the proxy for the audience reading. So things get slowly and carefully explained to him that he should really probably already know. But it was a really, really enjoyable read. When it was another one of the Russian authors, and I was kind of like, I was rolling my eyes a little bit. It's like I've read, you know, things like The Idiot and War and Peace, these huge tomes by Dostoevsky, and it's I was kind of picking this up, going, not another one, not another one. Please be readable. Please at least have, you know, one monologue that lasts less than 15 pages. Please, please, please. And in the end, what I got was actually quite a Western novel, or Western feeling novel. Whether that's due to the translation, maybe, maybe not. But it was most enjoyable, most enjoyable. There's a little bit of silliness near the end, in terms of the big bad guy and his. It's a little bit James Bondish, where the big bad guy would rather go out committing suicide with Big Bomb than actually deal with the situation, which would just be to shoot Van Doren in the head and walk away. There's a little bit of, you know, spring-loaded chairs and big bad plots, and before I kill you, Mr. Bond, I'm going to tell you the plot. There's a little bit of that going on, but it makes it it's slightly silly in places, but that doesn't make it any worse. It was a really enjoyable, rip-roaring book. I mean, I read it in, what, one and a half sessions, really? I mean, it's not a long book. It's only a couple hundred pages long. There you go, 249 pages long, and I think I read that. Actually, I read it in one sitting. I started off about 8 o'clock, and I finished it by about midnight, in one go. It was really, really good. It was proper page turner. So, as I'm going to try to keep these quite short and sweet, should you read this book? Should you read this book? Yes, definitely. It's an awesome book. It's the best of the Russian novels that I've read in this screed. It's not the great treatises on, you know, what it means to be human, or what it means to be Russian, or what it means to be alive, or the great philosophical debate that is War and Peace. And War and Peace is more about philosophy than it is about a story. But it's definitely the one I enjoyed the most. Absolutely enjoyed it. You should definitely read this book. I really enjoyed it, and I want more. I want more of Van Doren, and I've got one more which I'll review next. But I'm definitely going to go hunt down the rest of his books, because I seriously enjoyed this one. This book was excellent. So yes, next will be in roughly 5 minutes, and it's going to be the Turkish Gambit, also by Boris Akun, and also it's an Ernest Van Doren book. So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. This is Reading for Charity. Good afternoon. I've broken it.